What's going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here back in Blazing Swords. This is, of course, Road to Part 1, the weekly podcast series about any and all things Last of Us Part 1 Remake, from news, lore, reactions, and upon release, our review, and with a maybe spoiler cast. We're still trying to, iron out. We'll see. To end off the series, of course, this is episode 2. With me, of course, the golden hair golden boy, Peter Spatek. How are you doing, good sir?
Dude, I'm doing great. The more important question is, how are you doing?
Oh,
you're sick.
Listen, I'm like, did you see DJ Khaled and Drake and Lil Baby dropped the song called "Staying Alive"? They actually like took the like
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like the hip hop version of that. Yeah, that's how I am right now. But no, like I'm doing okay, doing all right,
Okay, good.
I feel decent.
Yeah, man.
I feel definitely decent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just didn't want to miss a week. And also,
No, I get it, man.
and also I'm a workaholic. That's facts. I'm also a workaholic. But how are you, good sir? How are you?
I totally get it. I'm doing well. Can't complain. Well, I could complain, but I won't. How's that? You know what I mean?
I feel that. But I guess we can't complain here. We got 26 days until The Last of Us Part 1 Remake does drop on PlayStation 5. And not PS4, actually. I almost said PS4, but no, only PS5. PC someday.
Is this
PC
the first
someday.
PS5 exclusive of the year? Like first party? I think it is,
There
right?
was GT7, that was cross-gen. Horizon was cross-gen.
Cross-gen.
From first party. No, Sifu was technically second. No, but that was on PS4. Yeah. I think so.
Right? I think it's the only one too.
I
'Cause
miss
God of War is also going to be.
Yeah, God of War's cross-gen. Yeah, I think this might be the only one. From the first party,
wait.
yeah. Who we
Yeah,
missing?
because it's not first party. I was thinking Ghostwire Tokyo, but I don't know if that was on PS4 as well. But that's also not first
It's
party.
not on
That's-
PS4.
Yeah, okay.
I'm like 90% sure it's not. I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah, but then like I don't know if you heard that one quote from Jim Ryan when he's like, yeah, like even our like second, no, like even like our like third party partners we view as first party. That always bothered me because I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, what do you mean, bro? What do you mean? Like, he was like, yeah, like, but I get what he was saying where he was like, because I think they were talking about Returnal because at the time that was not first party, right?
Yeah.
But I think like what he was saying was like, no, like we like treat even our like big second party games, what we would call it, like historically,
Gotcha.
treat them like first party. I'm like, okay, I mean, you can say that, I guess, but they're not. We know who the first party is, you know what I'm saying? Let's get that. You know what I'm saying? Let's get with that. But down below, you can check out more first party Naughty Dog, sure, if you want. And you can also check out Peter Spatek's links down below, Twitter, Hitbox Podcast. If we go check that out. His portfolio, why not?
Oh,
why
thanks,
not?
Man, I appreciate it. Appreciate the plugs.
Any jobs out there, check out our portfolios. That'd be great. Anyway.
Yeah.
Housekeeping here. Catch us out here on YouTube.com Blazing Swords, as well as podcast services like Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, etc. via the anchor link down below in the description. Like the video and or rate the podcast. It really does help us get even more viewers so we can grow the PSS family. Down below as well, let us know what you like or dislike about the show, and connect with us further on Twitter and Discord in the description. If you're feeling generous, feel free to hit that join button, become a $1 Prince tier member like Tapiwa Musa, and of course our $5 King tier members, just like Caleb Kaiser, the Iraq Knight, and the homie Owen. Much appreciation for you all. Yeah, stream series, I'm not even sure if I'm going to stream The Last of Us Remake. I'm not sure. There definitely will be content on there for sure, but I'm still like debating what I'm going to be doing exactly, but we will get there when we get there. But I've been talking for too much. Peter, what have you been playing before we get into the news here? We only have like 2 news things, but let me know what you've been playing so far.
So, last week we were talking about Stray and Neon White. I finished Neon White.
Fire.
It's so good. Like, I don't think I need to rehash like anything I said last week about like it being just like top tier. But I would probably say that it is maybe the best money I've spent on a game all year. Like the fact that it's like $30 and like I got so much enjoyment out of that. Like
I like that.
It's hard to beat.
People.
So I finished that.
I like that because people only want to talk about the price, but what about the value proposition?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The old bang for the buck. You know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. 100%. So I finished that, and so I started up Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is a behemoth of a game. So I've been playing for like, I'm almost at the 20-hour mark, and I'm like just kind of out of the tutorial.
Holy shit.
Yeah, there is a lot to it.
What's the average, like how on the beat, like that people are like projecting? I know it just came out, so
probably 100.
So those numbers might not even be accurate right now because people probably haven't beaten it. You know, like a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so on how long to beat, you got main story at 55.5 hours, main story and extra 71 hours, and then completionists 91.5. So like I'm probably gonna be in that main plus extra. Like I'm not just like mainlining it, you know?
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of exploring, so I'm imagining I'm not even halfway through my playthrough, not even close.
Damn.
Yeah, man. That is, I will say this, as someone like I've always liked JRPGs, like I've always liked like a handful of select JRPGs. This is like, if you are a JRPG fan and you're not playing this, you should be. Like this is the perfect JRPG for fans of that genre. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you. Interesting. So like, I'm assuming you've played 1 and 2, right?
Nope.
Oh no. Okay. So
no, this is my first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna see like, hey, like, is there anything that you've seen like improvements from, like things from previous games that have been like alleviated in this third iteration? But no, you're just liking it.
I can't speak to it. Yeah, it's overwhelming. I'll say this, like as someone who's like never like touched the series, it is overwhelming because like I said, like the first like 10 and some change hours are like tutorial stuff. Like there's a lot of story going on, but they're like really easing you into the gameplay,
right?
Which I kind of appreciate when you've got a lot of deep systems. Did you play Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin this year?
No, I played the alpha and the beta, but I never got the full game yet. Yeah.
So I played that right when it came out. Like I didn't do any of the demos or anything like that. And that game for like the first like 2 hours is just like, here's a screen of text that you got to read on how to play, and here's another screen, and you're just like clicking through all these screens, and like none of it's sinking in because I'm not like applying it to actually playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas this takes its time to really like let all of that stuff sink in, and then it's like, all right, we're gonna add another thing. Okay, we're gonna add another thing and stuff like that. So like it is a huge investment, but I'm enjoying it immensely. Now that like it's like opened up and like I know what the game actually is and like what parts of it to like really focus on and stuff like that. So it's good stuff, man.
Now, I think the last thing I'll ask you is that like, is it a connected story? Like, are you lost in the lore? Like, is it, or is it like an anthology style where it's like it doesn't connect to the games prior to it?
So, to my understanding, it like I might be completely speaking like totally like
you might not even
here.
know. Okay, that's fair.
My friend Justin, who I co-host Hitbox with, he's really big into Xenoblade. And like I was asking him, and he was like, "Yeah, there's like some like shared elements. There are like these like Furby-looking creatures called like Napons or something like that show up in every single game, similar to how like Chocobos show up in like every Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
But like to my understanding, there's not like connected tissue. It's not like this is like the sequel to the story of Xenoblade 2. This is like its own separate thing. But it's engaging. It's cool. It's about like these two warring factions where everyone lives only to be 10 years old, and if they survive to be 10, they get like they like dissolve and they like go to heaven or something like that. And then basically these 3 soldiers on one side end up meeting with 3 soldiers on the other side, and they like find this like common ground, and they're like, okay, we don't want to fight anymore. Like why are we all just fighting for 10 years to either die in combat or like maybe go to heaven? Like it doesn't really make sense. And so then they're like trying to like free other cities and stuff. It's cool. it's like weird to explain, but like in the context of like having played it for 20 hours, it makes sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's cool stuff.
So like, are they all kids?
I mean, like they're not like 10. They're like anime 15, 16, I imagine.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're not like 8 years old.
Yeah, okay.
They're like 8 years old in like the fiction, but they're not like 8-year-old children. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I do feel you. Okay, I understand.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. It's cool. It's good stuff. It's real good stuff. What are you playing, man?
I've been playing some real good stuff. All right, you listen to your listen good. I need to address one thing, okay? The Last of Us Grounded playthrough, right? I did a lot of thinking about it, and I'm still, still debating it internally, if you will, right? You can check out my 30-minute supercut of my first like 2 hours with Last of Us on Grounded, right? It's up on the channel. Enjoy it. I thought it was a funny edit, right? But I'm just not sure, because we're so close to this remake, right? I'm not sure if I really want to like play Grounded on this version.
Yeah,
when I can play Grounded on the remake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like have a much better control scheme, right? Hopefully, we talked a lot about last week about the improvements on there and everything, like how that's gonna feel, hopefully a lot better, right? So I'm at this crossover where I might just mess around and start a new game plus run and just run through the story and just, I might just end up doing that. You know what I'm saying? But so that has low key been shelved, right, for the time being, Just because I'm like, why wouldn't you want to do Grounded on the remake anyway? Why not?
Totally.
So, I'm like looking around, like, okay, Roller Drome is not till the 16th. You know what I'm saying? Definitely going to get that.
Yeah, that looks good as hell.
Midnight Fight Express is not till sometime later on in August. Definitely want to get that.
Okay.
There is Live Alive that I kind of want to check out on Switch. You know what I'm saying? Or like Live Alive, whatever it's called. Kind of want to play that.
Yeah.
I've been dipping my toes back in the factions a little bit, playing a little bit of my favorite multiplayer game this year so far, Splitgate. Shout out to Splitgate.
Oh,
love me some Splitgate, But I'm like, I need a nice meaty, I need a game, I need like a nice narrative game. And so I recall playing Mass Effect 1 last year, Legendary Edition. Very much enjoyed it. Have you played Mass Effect before?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good stuff.
All right. So I finally, yesterday, and this morning as well, I was playing this morning, started Mass Effect 2. And let me tell you something.
First time?
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
Let me tell you something, man. Mass Effect 2 is fucking hitting, bro. I have tears in my eyes, bro. This game starts out so fucking good, bro. Oh, my God. Bro, so much shambles. So much happens in the first like hour, and it's like, what are we doing? Go ahead.
You said you played the first one last year?
Yes.
So I played the first one for the first time last year. I'd played 2 and 3 when they came out, on the Xbox 360.
Oh, okay, yeah, gotcha. This is my first time going through Mass Effect. This is my very first time. Yeah, go ahead.
That first one, like, it's pretty good.
Oh yeah,
like it's pretty good. Then you play Mass Effect 2, and it's like, hey, like, come on.
Bro.
That opening of everything exploding and the Normandy being destroyed is so fresh. And then like getting the band back together to be like, hey, like to see where everyone sort of ended up.
Yeah, so dude, it's been 2 years. Like, what the like, bro? I had no idea this is what we're going for. And I'm like, so I'm playing a very Paragon type of role with Mass Effect because I am very much role playing my Mass Effect playthrough, right, with my Shepard. And I think, listen, like, I'm trying to be the best possible version that I can be, right? Because not because I necessarily want to, right, but because I'm just trying to represent humanity, and I'm trying to put us in the best foot forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really want the rest of the galaxy to be like, hey, Shepard is the embodiment of humanity. Right. You know what I'm saying? I just want to show the goodness to everyone. Right. So what have I done? Yeah. So met up with Cerberus, we have this thing going on with the collectors, how they're abducting humans from these different settlements. It's like, yo, what's up with this? I'm very intrigued by this as well, right? Oh, I love the smirk you got going on. Like, yo, I'm in on this story, bro. Gameplay, I think, is a lot better than the first Mass Effect, and I know first Mass Effect Legendary Edition had like a lot more improvements done to it than 2 and 3.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, like the only thing and granted, hey, it's like, am I really gonna knock it for this? But like, vaulting over cover does not feel great. The overall like movement, you feel pretty rigid, but hey, you know what? It's a game from what, like 2010, I think?
Yeah, it's
2010, 2011. Yeah, so it's like, can I really knock it? It is what it is. Yeah. But I'm just loving like so much of this world is so thought out, and like I feel like none of it is like wasteful, like
no, not at all.
I like really want to go and seek out like every little side thing as I'm going through the main mission, right? And I know a lot of people have told me, hey, do the loyalty missions for everyone. So I definitely gotta do that, and that will be something that will be a part, because I think for the first Mass Effect, I definitely just did kind of like main story, and this time I'm gonna do the main story and then also the loyalty missions as well. I got my boy Garrus back. Shout out to the homie.
He's great. What a great intro for him.
Archangel,
right?
Yeah, dude, that reveal.
Everyone's pinned down.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Oh, it's you.
I'm like, Garrus, I'm like, what are you doing, bro? What happened? It's so good, bro. I just can't wait to see what the hell everyone else, dude. I can't wait. I'm very excited. So I'm very much in this game right now for sure. What else do I gotta say about it? Not much. I mean, I stopped this morning. So I got the professor.
Yep.
I got someone else. Oh, the professor. I got Garrus, but I don't think he was a part of the crew that I'm supposed to be getting. Hold on, let me do a quick
pull it up.
Check on
while you're looking that up. Do you know like where this goes?
No, I have no idea, bro. I know nothing. I know.
So excited.
I know absolutely nothing, bro. I know absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude, do those loyalty missions, because like not only do they pay off like at the end with like a whole lot of stuff, but like I think those are some of the best like maybe modern RPG missions and stuff. With like there's just like a lot of cool storytelling, and like even the ones that are kind of like nothing still end up being like cool, like just backstory for the people who you're like hanging with.
Yeah, so I've gotten only the professor and Archangel. Yeah, those two are required. I do have Zaid, but I haven't done Zaid's like other side mission that I gotta do. Is that a loyalty mission too, or no?
Zaid, does he have like a big scar on his face?
Let me see if that was his face. He's right when you get to Omega. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a DLC character. Oh. So him and I think her name's what's her name? Kasumi. They're both DLC characters.
Okay.
So like the Mass Effect Legendary Edition has all of the DLC from whenever that all came out in like 2010, 2011. So like so he does have a loyalty mission. Same with Kasumi. Kasumi's loyalty mission is awesome. But yeah, so he's got one as well, but he is like not exactly, I'm not saying he's like not necessary for the playthrough, but because he's DLC, like, here's,
you know what I'm trying to say? No. Here's my thing that I'm trying to somehow control, right? Okay. I want to get my crew back, period, right? Like, hey, I'm helpful and I'm thankful for all the new people that have came, and Cerberus, thank you for reviving me / rebuilding me, shout out to you, right? You know what I'm saying? Other than my boy Jacob, shout out to my boy Jacob.
Jacob's dope.
I fucked with my boy Jacob. He can stay on the Normandy, but I'm gonna need everyone new to get off the ship at some point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm afraid that I'm gonna bring too many people in that are new, that I'm not gonna have room for any of the old crew. So
it's one of those things too about like Cerberus. Like, yeah, they brought you back, but like they're kind of sketchy too.
I know they're sketchy. Yeah. So like I said something to Garrus where like Garrus like, yo, like are you really working with them? I'm like, yo, like I'm not. It's just for now, Garrus. Like it's cool.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna, like this is why I brought you in, Garrus. Because I know I can trust you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's so like I don't necessarily trust them, but I'm not letting them know that I don't trust them, and I'm not out front saying that I trust them. You know what I'm saying? What's his name? The elusive man.
Elusive
I don't know, dog. I don't know about him, man. Yeah, I don't know, dog. I don't know, man.
No,
I'm a
he's
little
sketchy kind of character.
I'm a little suspicious also of Miranda. I don't know.
It's the kind of thing
Miranda,
where it's like,
I don't know.
she's a spy.
Yeah.
That's her job. She's a spy.
100% though, Jacob, he can stand in Normandy.
Yeah,
Jacob can stay. Jacob can stay, yeah. But yeah, I stopped this morning. I just parked at the Citadel. Can't wait to see my boy Anderson. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen him in a while. Can't wait to see him. But yeah,
did you put him in charge?
Yeah, I put him in the council.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's what I always did because he actually cares as opposed to the other guy who's like just a politician.
The other guy's very much like to the book and say, hey, like I respect that, but like nah, like on the council, like once again, like representing humanity, like I need to give them the heart of humanity. You know what I'm saying? One last thing I want to say, because every time I tell people this that have played Mass Effect, they think my whole playthrough is a fuck up, and I ruined it. Right? Ashley in the first game killed Rex.
So that happened for me as well.
Okay,
and
same.
Then did you save her?
No,
did you save,
that was her punishment. No, she definitely got mopped. I definitely left her.
It's like, well, you racist piece of shit. Like,
100%.
No, you're staying on this exploding planet.
100%. Because that was not even my intent. Like I was trying. Like when I was playing Mass Effect 1, I'm like, Rex, I hear you, Rex. I hear you. And I just need you to calm down. Like we just need to just calm down for a second, Rex. I want to help your species as well. Like we're on the same team. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I actually get blabbing her fucking mouth.
She rolls up. Yeah.
I'm like, why'd you shoot him? Bro, I was trying to. I was handling it. Yo, Ashley. Ashley needed to die. 100%.
Yes. No. You're. Let me say this. Your playthrough's not ruined. You're gonna meet Grunt, I think, in Mass Effect 2, and Grunt is awesome. Yeah. Your thing is not ruined at all. Like. You got it still.
A lot of people have told me, bro, how could you let Rex die? I'm like, guys, it's not my fucking fault. This racist, racist teammate that I made sure she died, though. I made sure she died.
And then I also like in Mass Effect 2, like people are asking, like, oh, you left her behind, and it's like, yeah, like it wasn't even a question. Like,
yeah, I'm like, yo, and then like, Shepard's like, oh, like it was a difficult decision for me, and it's like I wish I could be like, no, like I wish there was options like, no, like yo, she was racist as shit. Like I don't know what to tell y'all. Like no,
like,
she had to go.
Like, there's just no question.
She had to dip. Yo, she had to dip. She had to dip. But yeah,
dude, I'm so excited to hear more about this.
Dude, I can't wait.
Go on as you get deeper into it.
I can't wait. Like I'm really starting to understand like how important Mass Effect is to the games industry, right? But then also like straight up, last thing I'll say, I promise, and then we can move on. It's like, what happened to BioWare, man? What happened?
2 letters, man.
What happened?
EA.
What happened?
EA.
This is so good. This is so good. Got so good. I still kind of want to play Andromeda. Wait, actually, I don't know. Is that in 60 frames? I don't know if it's in 60 frames actually. If it's not, I swear I'm not gonna play it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have to look in and see. But like, damn, man, like this was so good. So good.
Yeah, I've heard it's not as bad, Andromeda, because I've actually never played it. Okay. I've heard it's not as bad as everyone said it was. It had a really bad launch.
That's fair. Yeah.
It's a game that has the expectations of being the next Mass Effect, and it's like not. Like, and like that's not bad necessarily, but people were maybe like expecting it to be Mass Effect 4, and it's like not at all.
Is it like a spin-off type thing?
Yeah, I mean, none of the same characters. They just go to a complete other galaxy, I think.
Oh, interesting.
So like, it's like a side story. It's not like a continuation of everything that's going on.
Yeah. Interesting.
So there you go.
And now I'm even more excited for, you know, like we saw, I think it was like Mass Effect synopsis of the new game. Like Shepard's gonna be back. I don't know where he went, but you know, Shepard's gonna be back, whatever that means. So yeah, I'm very excited. Very excited.
Dude, I can't wait to hear more about it.
Very excited to continue. But you know what got me more excited? Not more excited. You know what got me also excited was seeing these this new comparison shot that was released, I think last night or this morning, I believe. Link below in the description if you want to check it out. But this is actually a GIF that was released from Naughty Dog on Twitter. Link below. And yeah, we see Joel and Tommy riding off to get Ellie, which is right before one of our favorite cutscenes in gaming, period, that we talked about a lot on the show. And we get a little side by side. So I just want to ask you, you know, how are you feeling about this? How's it looking for you from the side by side? You know, what are your thoughts?
I think
give it to the people honest.
With this game. Yeah, I think that this little video of them riding through, you know, this trail highlights the problem that a lot of people have with this remake, in that like the original like Last of Us Remastered like still looks pretty good. Like it's, you know, not a game that maybe would come out in 2022, but it's definitely not like some game that like is in major need of a facelift, right? And so, you know, just Joel and Tommy riding through, like, yeah, there is a clear difference between like which one is the PS5 version and which one is the PS4 version, but it's just one of those things that like it makes you go, oh dang, like Last of Us Remastered looks pretty good actually. You know, like all these years later, you know, 8 years later or so. Obviously the remake looks stunning, it looks stellar, it looks incredible, but it is not. This showcases one of those things that a lot of people have been feeling, and a lot of people have been expressing frustration about, where it's like, this is not some huge overhaul. In the same way, like if you remade Uncharted 1, like today, with, you know, Naughty Dog's like most cutting edge stuff, like that game would look way different, as opposed to something like The Last of Us, which, you know, isn't that old and still looks pretty good, all things considered. Do you know what I'm saying with that?
Yeah. I do. Yeah.
So what do you think? How do you take this?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, right? Obviously, like it looks better. It looks better on the remake. Duh, that's, you know, not hard to see. But like at the same time, like I think the Pushkar article does a really good job at like ending off the article where it's like, you know, they're gonna have, whether you agree with it or not, whether you're excited or not, you know, I think Sony's gonna have like a bit of a like uphill battle in terms of like really selling this remake. You know what I'm saying? Like in just to the fan base that like already has the remaster, right? And it's tough because like, yo, it's on the Plus collection. So yeah, realistically speaking, like, you know, I really doubt there's a lot of PS5 owners out there that don't have Plus, you know? I doubt that number is anything big, right? But no, yeah, they all have access to it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, we'll see. You know, there's I think there is going to be definitely a conversation that is going to surround this game that, you know, are probably the conversations that Naughty Dog doesn't want us to have, you know, about like comparing it, right? But, you know, it is what it is, you know. I guess it is.
It's just one of those things, I think, though, that like, you know, if they're not doing some big, you know, gameplay overhaul or anything like that, really the visuals is what needs to sell this game. And I don't know if it's just like this one particular area or if it's all of it. I mean, I think it's maybe a little mix of both. That like, I think this particular area is not the best showcase for that, because it's like, oh yeah, it looks like kind of the same environment, but like a little bit more detailed, you know? And it, like I said, and like you said, it is clear that like there are some huge differences in terms of fidelity with this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's not like, I can see why some people are still unconvinced about this being like something that they want to spend their money on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Excuse me. Definitely,
you're all good, man.
Definitely with you on that. Next up, not really Last of Us Remake news, just a little side thing that I thought was cool, the Russo brothers agreed with us. You know what I'm saying? Of course, directors of Captain America, Winter Soldier, the best MCU movie, some would say. I would probably agree with that, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. I think we all enjoyed those movies, you know what I'm saying? They went out and said, they were asked about Last of Us 2, and they said, yeah, it's one of the greatest games ever made, period. And then they also wanted to say that, like, about the Uncharted series, that, like, it's one of, like, the best, like, action game series that they've ever played, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, I think it's very interesting that, we have PlayStation Productions, we have, all these things, going on. We have even the Uncharted movie going. We have the Last of Us show and everything. And it's very interesting that, they're like, talking a little sweet, about these properties publicly. Like, maybe that's, maybe I'm reading too deep into it, but hey, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Russo brothers involved with something, of a PlayStation IP in the future, but.
I could definitely be down with that. I mean, like their action stuff has been great, with I mean all the MCU stuff. Like I think that they have really killed it with those sort of things. I'd watch, Uncharted movie 2.
Dude, I would love Uncharted 2, like, bro. That shit was bang. I think that could be dope. Yeah.
Did you see that Uncharted's on Netflix now?
I did.
I think you were tweeting about it earlier, weren't you?
Yeah. I kind of want to do like a watch along.
I don't know if I've ever talked to you about this. What'd you think of that movie? I
don't
think you've seen it.
Yeah, I was going in very critical. The first trailer, I was not feeling this first trailer. I was like, I was like, I don't know about this, guys. Like, this shit looking kind of suspect, So I was prepared to be like, hey, listen, look, if it sucks, it sucks. Not a big deal. Whatever. We have the games. It is what it is. Fuck it. Bad video game movies happen all the time. Whatever, right? But then the second trailer dropped. I'm like, okay, I saw some shimmers of, okay, we have some stuff here that's looking better. Watch the movie, and like throughout the whole movie, I'm like, damn, I'm really enjoying it. I think that they did a really good job at like encapsulating like what Uncharted is, from not only just like, yes, it is a play off of Indiana Jones, right? And it is like adapted from that, but what makes Uncharted like distinctly unique, right? In like a lot of ways that I thought was really cool, like the puzzle solving, the puzzle solving, right? That Chloe, Nathan, and why am I forgetting homeboy's name? This is embarrassing.
Sully?
Is the COVID? Yeah, Sully. My bad. The COVID got me.
Yeah,
COVID
fog, I
get what I'm saying? Like,
I'm on board.
When like they were like in that midsection, whatever, and like solving all those things, like I thought that was a really good part. I really want that end. I don't even want to say it in case people haven't seen it, but I want that end set piece in the game someday. I think that could be awesome, dude. That'd be so fun to play. It was
straight out of the game.
Yeah,
right?
Bro. Like that, like end fight, dude. That'd be so fun to play in the game. But yeah, no, honestly, like I think it was like exceptional or perfect, but like I thought it was a lot better than I expected for sure.
Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah. So we'll see. Russo brothers, you should talk to someone.
I'd watch it.
I would certainly watch it. Moving on here to the topic of the show. The Last of Us scenes we really want to see in the PS5 Remake. This is more of just like we like talked a little bit more about like the game's like importance, what it like means to us last week, right? But we're gonna just go into more like specifics in terms of really like critical scenes that we like want to see in the remake, right? And see how that looks. So like that, and also combining it with just like, hey, like what are our favorite parts of Last of Us? We're also going to include Left Behind as well in this. But yeah, I mean, do we want to knock out the one that we both had just to get out of the way?
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, we both talked about last week, but is also involved in the gift that they put out with that comparison that we just talked about. But yeah, when Joel and Ellie have that conversation after Ellie runs away from Tommy's dam, and they have a little chat, you know, the tread on thin ice cutscene, you know, I can't wait to see that.
It's just so, I mean, like, what's so great about it is sort of a turning point for their relationship. You know what I mean? Just because it's been sort of tumultuous up to that point, you know, like she's this kid who's just like always mouthing off to him and like not necessarily like following instructions because she thinks she knows better, but he's kind of like cold to her and doesn't really like want her. I think he wishes that she wasn't around and that he just had to like take, you know, that it was him having to deliver, you know, an inanimate object or something like that. But then they have that conversation and like she hits home and like reveal, you know, she tells him like everyone has died except for you and you want to give me away, you know, and she goes there, right? She's like, I'm not your daughter. I know you lost your daughter and I'm sorry, but I'm not her. And like, oh man.
It's so fucking good, man. It's so good, like, man.
You know, it stands alone so well, you know, even with, you know, the PS3, PS4 graphics on it. So like seeing it with just even, you know, whatever more subtleties are going to be added by having those realistic, you know, much more realistic face models and animations and stuff like that. I think it's still going to be one of those like knockout moments in gaming, you know?
Yeah. 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 I love this cutscene. I've always loved it. Right. And like, even the like abrupt nature of the ending, right. With, it's not infected. No, it's, who the hell goes into the house again?
So they get interrupted by bandits. Bandits show up.
Bandits show up.
Like, hey,
just
we gotta
like,
go.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I just can't wait to see this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I love that cutscene. I just love Troy Baker's delivery. Obviously, Ashley Johnson does a great job, right? And just to be able to see their performances in more detailed fashion, it's gonna be great. Yeah, really need that. Definitely need that.
100% agree.
Yeah, and then I guess from here out, like we can start from the top, I guess, and go down.
Yeah.
Do you have anything from the way beginning? I think we've already seen via leaks. We've seen the very beginning with Sarah and that whole death scene, right? But
I didn't catch it.
Oh, that was in the leaks. Yeah, but I mean,
did that leak?
Yeah, but granted, like we saw that in 720p. You know what I'm saying? And,
yeah.
And like it was funny. So like to see that in its full glory, definitely is gonna be great. Definitely need to see that for sure. There was, I think the only like big cutscene I really want to see, is gonna be when, you know, Tess sacrifices herself. You know, and like gives Joel like the mission, like, yo, like you have to take Ellie to Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
You know, is that the first? Yeah, it's St. Mary's, right? Like that's where does Tess tell Joel to take her to Salt Lake City? Wait, I'm getting confused. No, because
they get to Salt Lake.
Because Marlene dips before that point.
Oh, they tell her to take her to the University of Colorado.
Oh, that's right. Yup.
They get there and it's
deserted.
Yeah. And then they see something about Salt Lake City and they're like, all right, well, let's go there.
You're right.
They're in the area. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the university. You're right. Oh, speaking of, dude, I can't wait till that whole, bro. I need that whole scene, bro.
When I first played it, you're talking about him falling on the rebar.
Oh yeah.
When I first played it, I thought like that was the end. I thought you like, oh shit, like he's like out of it.
Bro,
because that's like bad, dude.
No,
like,
that's fucked up.
Rebar through your whole body, like, damn, that's bad. Right after that though, I'm gonna be curious, and I want to know what you think about this. Like, do you think that they are going to intercut all the Left Behind stuff? Like those flashbacks and her at the mall, getting supplies for him. Do you think they're gonna put that like in the actual body of the game, or do you think it's still gonna be a standalone DLC thing?
No, I think it's still gonna be separate because like they've like said like this will include the Left Behind DLC, You know, that's my assumption.
Okay.
Is like that'll be a separate menu inclusion because like, I mean, you could, but then like, there's a lot of Riley in there, and granted, the whole DLC is only like 2 hours, so like it's not that much, but like I think that's gonna be a lot to put into the main game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it could like potentially throw off the pacing depending on how it's
Yeah. That's why like I still think they'll probably keep it separate for sure.
Yeah, that's fair. But I want to see them dancing on the jewelry case.
Oh,
like
fuck
that
yeah.
moment, you know what I mean, where they put the music on, and then they're interrupted obviously by just a horde of clickers running through.
Yeah.
But like it's one of those things where it's like the last moment really of Ellie's life before everything changes.
Yeah. Yeah. Also when I mean like Riley's end quotes were like she says like something to the line of like, hey, like we can just like you can kill me, I can kill you, and like we can or like we can kill ourselves, or we can just spend what time we have together and just let our minds go crazy.
Yeah.
And then like we turn. Yeah, that's so fucked. And then Ellie never turns, bro. That's fucked up. It's so traumatic, bro. God damn. God. Yeah, I can't wait to see that too. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And like we've like seen like little bits and pieces in that made for PS5 video for sure. But to get those full scenes, for sure. Really had to see Bill too.
Dude, that's on here as well. He's great. He's such a memorable character. And that whole section of running through his town and everything, looking for everything is so great.
Yep. Can't wait to see that. Can't wait to see, Bill and Ellie butt heads a lot. Yep. Can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm excited to see the scenes when David shows up. Is it the cannibal guy?
Yeah.
Because like in the original game, it's so tense and so uncomfortable, and then you find out like what the deal is, But revisiting it, knowing what it, who he is and what he wants, I think like seeing it with even more context and seeing it with even more fidelity of like the subtleties of both of their faces and everything, I think is going to be just great.
When I was first playing through Last of Us, right? I think the first time I played it I was maybe like 15 or 16, something like that. I picked up the vibe that David was trying to do something more to Ellie than just eat her. I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? And like I always thought like that was the intent, but everyone's been like, no, like he's just a cannibal. I'm like, no, like I know like he's also a cannibal. Right. Yes. But like even as an adult, like as an adult, like I played it in 2020. I'm still like, no, like there's some line deliveries that David has where like I think it's insinuating like some other fucked up shit. And I'm like, fuck, man, that shit is fucking dirty, bro. That shit is raw.
So I think he takes her and he puts her in that freezer or something like that, in like a cage.
In like cage type thing, yeah.
Yeah, and she's trying to get the keys from him, and like she takes his hands or something like that. I think she breaks like one of his fingers or something. And I think it's in there where it's like insinuated and all that sort of stuff. I think you're right on the money there. I think he is bad on many levels.
David's fucked. Yeah, David's fucked. Oh my god, I can't wait to see Joel do that freaking torture scene with David's men.
Oh my gosh,
dude, I need that.
Where he does the map.
Yeah, the map shit. Oh, that's some hard.
Oh,
I need that. Yes, sir. That's gonna look crazy. Also, I wonder how the like snow storm like weather effects are gonna look.
Oh yeah.
I'm very curious about that as well. Yeah.
In Last of Us Part 2, I played the whole thing. So I replayed it with my girlfriend because I was like, I think you'll like this.
Nice.
The first one, obviously. And then when the second game came out, we sort of played it together with, we sat together and played through it. And I was like, she doesn't really play video games. So like I was trying to explain like, hey, this is why this is so impressive to look at. There's that scene right at the beginning when Dina and Ellie are going on patrol and they run into that like dead like moose or deer or something. You know what I'm talking about?
The dead moose or deer.
And they go into a build. It's like the combat tutorial. Like you go in and you clear out some of the clickers and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It's like before everything like breaks bad. So if you step in the blood of the moose or whatever it is, and then you walk around in the snow, like you got blood trailing on your feet.
Nice.
And then it only goes so far. Like, you know, if you got some on your shoe, it would wipe off. You know what I mean? It would stay on the ground, but then as you're walking more, it's gone. I remember noticing that and telling my girlfriend Elena, and she's like, "I don't understand. Like, why is that weird?" I was like, "Because like most games wouldn't do that." Like,
yeah,
it's like such a detail.
I hear that.
So like what you're saying about that, you know, weather storm effect and in all the snow and stuff like that, that's gonna look cool, man. If they do anything like that, where you know it is just a really it's an environment full of interactions and small little details like that, that's gonna be killer.
Yeah, definitely. Like, do you think there's gonna be those things when like, hey, if you walk over like a dead stalker or runner or whatever, like some of the blood will trail off in the footprints? Like, are we expecting that?
I am.
Okay, you are.
Because they're charging $70 for this.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying.
We talked about this last week. If they're not gonna put the combat improvements that we saw in Last of Us Part 2 with like the dodging and the countering and whatever, if they're not gonna put, you know, like redo the environments to build it so that, you know, you can do prone and all that sort of stuff, then at the very least, this game needs to blow my fucking mind in terms of how good it looks. Because that's really all that they can sell it on, right?
Yeah.
We played the game. We know what happens. We know that they're not making alterations to the story. No additional content. At least that's what we have come to understand. So it has to look that good.
Yeah, man.
In my opinion.
Yeah, like I think an not like problem, but an interesting dilemma that I don't think a lot of people talk about with Naughty Dog is that like their game, like the Last of Us Part 2 is such a detailed game that is now that studio's current bar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And that's where I think like Naughty Dog is going to have a very interesting problem where like they have such a high bar in what they develop that they always have to exceed that bar.
Yeah.
For the foreseeable future. You know,
100%.
I wouldn't have a problem with them exceeding that bar and making the game shorter. You know, I'm always down for that.
Yeah,
you know, I'm always down for give me a well-crafted 15-hour game. Definitely down for that. You know, but they will always have to exceed that bar, which I think is going to be a very interesting dilemma. So like that is I think also the low-key like unsaid thing that I've thought a lot about with this game, right? Is that from what we've been hearing about it so far, granted, let's wait till the full game comes out, let's play it, but as far as we can tell, like this isn't going to exceed the Part 2 bar, and
it's gonna meet it. Hopefully.
And there's even questions of it like, will it meet the Part 2 bar? You know, I feel like as an overall game, I think it will, but I think there will be some things that are missing from Part 2 that are not in Remake that came out 2 years after Part 2, you know? So, I think that's also a part of it where like, I'm not sure if we're going to see blood trail off of your footprints and everything. I hope so. I sure hope so, but you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see. I think the Lakeside Resort, just environment is going to be very beautiful to look at. Bottom line.
Is that when you're Ellie, when you're running around?
Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking of like before the snowstorm, when you're at the actual resort area and everything. I think that's gonna be super dope. I can't wait for that David and Ellie boss fight. That shit gonna be crazy. Oh man. And the fire effects. Oh man. I believe in the fire effects because when you look at that gas station exploding in the very intro of the game that they showed off, that looked good.
It looks great.
That looked real good. So anything with fire, I'm like, all right, it's probably gonna look fire. No pun intended. You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
You know what I'm saying? What else? You got anything else? I mean, I think
I've got one more.
Oh yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
The scene that I think will really, really be different this time around in a way that the other scenes won't be, because we've already seen them and we know what they're up. We know what's up with them. Is the scene where they go in the Firefly lab and Joel kills Abby's dad.
Yeah.
I think that is going to be one of those scenes that, like, hopefully they've spent some time thinking about, hey, how's this going to go down? Because in the original game, it's the guy that you kill isn't like a unique character. You know, he's just sort of a regular doctor-looking guy.
Yep.
Same with the other 2 or 3 people in the room with him. But obviously, as we know in Last of Us Part 2, we know what Abby's dad looks like, and we see that scene again, you know, with him in there. But when you go back and look at it in the original game, he's just some random guy, you know?
Yeah.
So I will be really interested to see that scene in particular. And I'll be curious if, I imagine it won't, but I'll be curious if it's treated any differently than it is in the original, just because it has this very, very new and very, very loaded meaning to it now that we've played, you know, part 2 and all that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, definitely. I heard some people saying that, oh, like, they're gonna do some crazy things, like put Abby's dad as a surgeon. I'm like, why wouldn't they at this point? Like, what do you, why is that
so
crazy?
key to the story.
Yeah, like that's like a non-argument. Like you have to make that model Abby's dad. 100%.
Yeah.
100%, you know? But I'm thinking, like, and this is definitely for next week, because, like, next week it's like, all right, like, what if this wasn't faithful to the original? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, you know, yeah, so that's definitely gonna be next week. But, like, I don't think it'd be that crazy to have, like, that Abby reaction scene to seeing her dad dead.
Mm-hmm.
Because you gotta think, like, okay, like, if you're someone who's watching the HBO show, you're playing Last of Us for the very first time, right? I wonder how it would be to see Abby in the game and question, like, okay, like, who is that character?
Yeah.
But would that ruin part 2 for you? Because of the very intro, when you play as Abby and, like, you don't know who this character is. Like, would it ruin that reveal? I think it might.
I agree, and I also think it might ruin. It could potentially ruin the focus of the very ending of The Last of Us, because the focus is on, like, 100% about, like, the ambiguity of what Joel did, right? And what he then tells Ellie, right? And then all the questions about, like, does Ellie know, like, all that sort of stuff. That stuff is so key, I think, to even talking about the game and understanding what it's about and what it's saying and all that sort of stuff, that I think if you added another scene of, you know, just a quick scene of, you know, Owen holding Abby back as she's crying over her dad, like,
oh yeah, Owen's there. Oh my god, fucking forgot Owen's there.
I think that might distract from the actual ending of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and like, also, yeah, like, I do think that would compromise part 2's, like, reveal of it, you know?
Yeah, of it being about, like, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, in part 2, like, you spend so much of the time, like, what, like, why, you know,
why would she do, like, this?
Yeah. So I don't know. I'd be interested to see what exactly they do with it. Obviously, we'll talk about it next week. But
yeah. But, like, I think 100%. The character model has to be Abby's dad.
Gotta be. Yeah.
I don't see a logical reason for why that wouldn't be the case. You know, 100%.
Agreed.
I want to give a shout out to the basement of the hotel. Definitely trying to see that in the full remake. That's gonna be great. There was something else, I think. Oh, I mean. And okay, this is, like, one of the last scenes I'll say that, like, I have in mind for sure. I'm kind of shocked that they showed the giraffe scene.
Yeah.
In the PS5 reveal, you know, like,
because that's such an iconic moment.
Yeah, man. I don't think I would have done that personally. Yeah. If I were behind that video, I've been like, guys, like, we there's scenes that we can't show. Period. You know, like, I would not show that scene, you know?
Yeah.
So we've already seen it, but I'm down to see that again in full 4K and everything and all that. But yeah, and then in terms of Left
Oh, man.
Behinds, yeah, I think everything else we covered in Left Behind for the most part. I'm not thinking of anything crazy that I'm really like waiting to see overall. Yeah, no, I think we're good. Yeah, I think that's it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know, if nothing else, this is certainly one of those spectacle games that like you pause, you throw in photo mode, and you go like, "Oh my gosh!"
Oh
like,
yeah,
how? Because I imagine this is probably going to have some sort of ray tracing in it too, right? Like if it's a PS5 exclusive game, like you imagine it would. No, you don't think so? I guess because they haven't mentioned it, right?
I feel like they would have said it. I feel like they would have said it, bro. I feel like they would have said it. But the part, you know what? No, it doesn't matter if part 2 had ray tracing or not. This is a PS5
it's a PS4 game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because, you know, we looked at last week when they had the, there were the two settings, right? 60 FPS at, what was it, 1440? And then, you know, aiming for 60, but probably under with 4K, right?
Yeah,
it didn't mention about, it didn't mention anything about like, you know, 30 frames ray tracing or 60 frames, you know, for 4K, whatever it was. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
I'm like, we don't know. I guess we don't know.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's why I think this is gonna be a very interesting game to really sit down after we're done with and really discuss. Like, hey, what did we get here? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is gonna be interesting. This is definitely gonna be interesting. You know, this is definitely
that
would
be so not bad. Like bad is the wrong. It would just be such, I think, a misstep if they didn't.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
damn.
Like, bottom line, if I was Sony, right? I was like, listen, if y'all gonna do this, you need to put you need to, like I said last week, like you need to make Last of Us as if you were making it today. Period.
Yeah.
Like, period. You know, like it needs a ray tracing. You know, it needs all the features of part 2. That I'd say at the bare minimum include dodging. And also I'd say go a step far. Yo, you're going to need to rework those combat zones to be able to sustain prone. You know?
Yeah.
Like, but we'll see, bro. We'll see.
I think what you were saying before too is like if what they're going to hang their hat on is this game looks fucking great, then it has to look great, right? It has to have all of the visual elements you want, because otherwise, like, I'm not like.
No, I definitely hear you, bro.
On this podcast with you, I'm gonna play this game, right? Like, and even if I wasn't, I would be playing this game regardless because I love these. Like, I love this series.
Facts.
But like, if they are going to be like, this is the best looking game we've ever made, and I don't know, like, it's not exactly what they're saying, but they are saying like, the reason this exists is to make it look as good as Part 2 did. Part 2 didn't have ray tracing, but Part 2 wasn't a PlayStation 5 exclusive game. We'll see, man.
I don't know. Yeah, man. Yeah. And like I think I said something about this last week, but like bottom line, like Silver Lining say, hey, you know, at least we're getting it this year.
Yeah, that's fair.
And like this will just be, it's gonna come out under a month, 26 days. You know, it's gonna be its thing. Yeah. And then they are working on factions. We're gonna get that next year. Cannot wait for that. Need that shit. You know, that's coming out hopefully next year. I'm really praying to my God. You know, and then we apparently have a third game that Neil Druckmann also was teasing. You know, so we'll see. Is that part 3? Is that a new IP? You know, we'll see. I would want a new IP, and then double back to part 3 to end off the PS5 gen, if possible.
Yeah,
you know?
No, that makes sense.
If there's even room for that, you know. If there's even room for that.
We can talk about the rumors surrounding their new thing as well. Not today, but I think also the positioning of where this is releasing is maybe saying a little bit about what Sony is trying to tell us about this game. It's coming out in September.
Right.
You know, holiday releases really start kicking off. This is not Sony's PlayStation 5 seller, right, for the year. I mean, I guess it is because it's the only PS5 exclusive, but like, God of War Ragnarok is positioned to be that huge, holiday season game for the company.
Right.
Whereas this, it's coming out in September. It's still around that area. It's, still like, it's a good spot for it to be, but it is like not positioned to be the huge game of the year for Sony. You know what I'm saying with that?
Yeah.
I think that's important to keep in mind too, that they're not trying to position it to be like, this is our huge thing that everyone needs to play. I think this is one of those things where it's like, if you like The Last of Us, this is for you. If you don't like The Last of Us, don't play this. If you're perfectly satisfied with, Last of Us PS4, you don't need to play this. But for those people who are like trying to either get into it or see what's up, like, go ahead. So.
And we will break it down when the game comes out for sure.
Yes, we will.
But this has been episode 2 of Road to Part 1. My boy, golden hair, golden boy Peter. Where can people find you?
Find me on Twitter at Peter Spitek. That's PeterSpittech. You can listen to my podcast Hitbox on all podcasting platforms. If you're looking for some realist video game news, we're the show for you. So come on, drop by. Would love to have you.
Indeed. Links below in the description to those links for Peter. And of course, this has been Road to Part 1, the weekly podcast dedicated to any and all things Last of Us Part 1 Remake. From news, lore, reactions, and upon release, our review, along with a potential spoiler cast, or maybe just breaking down. I think it's going to be like a different type of spoiler cast. Like, I think we're going to really assess the product. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Yeah, for sure. Like,
we can't spoil it. I imagine, unless they add some crazy stuff, but yeah,
I think that's looking to probably like end up being. But catch the show here on YouTube Comments Plays and Source, as well as podcast services like Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, etc. via the anchor link down below in the description. Like the video and rate the podcast. It really does help us get seen by more viewers so we can grow the PSS family. Down below as well, let us know what you like or dislike about the show, and connect with us further on Twitter and Discord. Once again, in the description. You're feeling generous, hit that join button, become a $1 Prince member, just like the people with Musa, or a $5 Kingdom membership, just like Caleb Kaiser, the Iraq Knight, and the homie Owen. And I think the last thing I'll end off with, I think my voice is going. I think the last thing I will end off with, I am developing a very, very big Last of Us video.
No kidding.
Very big. It's gonna be very meaty. It's been a genre of video that I've always wanted to do, and I feel like now's the time to try my first one. And the Road to podcast started with Last of Us Part 2, right? And I feel like it's only fitting. If I'm gonna do these type of videos, let's start with Last of Us. So definitely expect that in the coming weeks. Very excited for it. Thank you all for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.
Greatness awaits.